and welcome back to my channel. This is episode 3 of my Create This Book 2 by Moriah Elizabeth. If you happen to miss episode 1 or 2, I have them linked down below. For today's episode, I'm letting fate decide what pages I'm doing, so I will be using a random number generator. And the pages that I drew today are, drumroll please, 92, 149, 127, 118, and 47. So I have no idea what pages these are, but I'm going to be doing these in numerical order. So let's jump right in. Starting with page 42, the prompt is to create additions. I was completely blanking for this theme, like what am I even supposed to add? So I turned to my boyfriend and asked, hey, when you look at these circles, what do you see? And his response was planets. So planets it is. I taped the page down to keep it flattish while I worked because I knew I was going to be drawing and coloring a lot on both pages. I started by sketching cute little faces on each planet because everything is better with a face and personality. The one on the right page is sad, the next one is happy and cheery, the next one is a little dizzy, and the last one is mad. For the sad planet, I started lightly shading it with light blue, blue, and purple. Then I built up the colors and blended them together. I darkened one side of the planet to make it look like he's facing away from the other planets, ashamed of looking sad. Then I added magenta swirls around him to give him more of a planet look. For the happy planet, I colored it yellow in the middle and then I built up orange around it. Then I realized it kind of looks like a sun, but no, it's a planet. Just disregard that. For the dizzy planet, I went with a vertical gradient with greens. I'm not sure why I went with green, but now it's giving like Neapolitan ice cream. So Elphaba, if you're out there, your ice cream is calling you. I also blended the colors together, but looking at it now, I felt like this was a very odd choice. And then for our angry planet, I went for red and orange stripes, but did not blend the colors. So since space has galaxies, I thought why not add a galaxy background? This was a big mistake. I have never drawn galaxies with a color pencil in my life. It's always been with like acrylic paint. So I started laying down different colors of the galaxy, light blue, blue, purple, magenta, and the one on the right page is almost giving like a rainbow effect. Then I went over the rest of the background with some black. And then on the other page, I used the same colors, but this time I decided to create some weird horizontal galaxy effect, which somehow ended up looking like a space scarf, which not gonna lie, colors look kind of cool. I could definitely see this being a scarf, but this is definitely not what I was going for. The vibe I was going for was like a rainbow explosion, but we're just going to ignore that for now. To attempt to fix the disaster, I darkened the colors on the right page and then layered black over the galaxy rainbow to try to make it look a little more spacey. And did it work? Sorta. And then I replicated this on the left page. Now it's time to add the faces back because it's barely visible under all that coloring. I started with our sad planet friend. Since the colors were already so dark, even outlining it, you could still barely see it. So we're gonna put a pin in that and come back to it. And then outline the faces on the other planets to make them pop more. I then took my white Posca pen to add stars across the background, but for some reason it wasn't showing up well. And I don't know if it's an issue with my Posca pen, but I've always had an issue with the white Posca pens. So thank you, Posca. I then took my pink Posca pen to add blush on the happy planet. I then grabbed my silver Posca pen and outlined the sad planet's face, which actually worked way better than the black pen. I then took the same Posca pen and for the dizzy planet, I added a bunch of dots, kind of like freckles, because why not? If planets had freckles, this would be the one. Then I took my gold Posca pen and gave the happy planet a ring. I'm hoping this makes it no longer look like a sun, but I didn't want to center it because it was going to go straight through her face, so instead it kind of looks like a hat, and honestly, I love it. And then I used the same Posca pen to add more stars. And that's it for this page. Our next page is page 92. The prompt for this page is to create a border by cutting out shapes around the edge of the pages. I wanted to decorate the pages before cutting them, so I started with the background using watercolor pencils. So on the right page, in my head, I wanted to do a nice grassy field with a sunset background. And the reason why I chose to use watercolor pencils instead of regular pencils is because I wanted to test that like soft blendy look you get with watercolors. So I thought this would be a fun experiment. And then on the left page, I just picked random colors that I thought would look nice together. Green, blue, purple, and pink, which this page gave major Easter vibes, which I mean, I'm okay with. To keep the pages flat while painting, I taped them down onto construction paper underneath for support and to make sure that the paints don't actually go through because I don't know how pigmented these are. And in the middle of filming this, my boyfriend decided to say hello, so shout out to him. If you guys saw the last episode, I still don't have my rainbow cow, so hint hint, Brenton. I then took some water and started blending everything together, and honestly, this was a lot of fun. I would definitely do this again, but on actual watercolor paper instead of this flimsy paper, because the pages almost curled immediately. I did the same process on the other page, and while the color combo wasn't planned, I think they actually worked well together. Actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea if Moriah Elizabeth actually like released these books on like multimedia art paper for people that actually want to do stuff like this. I also don't know how much more pricier that would be, but I would definitely spend the money on that. Then I tried this line thing I saw on TikTok. I don't even know what this is called, but I wanted something visual to add texture to the page. This part took so much longer than I expected. I was literally starting to feel bored, but I kept pushing through because I didn't want to leave it unfinished. And then at some point I thought this was looking awful, and then I just completely stopped. Now that I'm looking back at it, it's actually not half bad. I really wish I actually sat down and took the time to actually complete this, even if this meant doing this over multiple art sessions. Also, excuse my cat for making an appearance. He just moved in after staying with my mom for a while, and I really hope he learns to stay off my craft table while I'm working on projects, so fingers crossed. On the other page, I really didn't know what to add, so I went with a simple drizzle or wavy pattern all over the page. I had no real plan here, so I just went with it. Time to cut the border. For the right page, I cut big swizzles all around it. I wanted it to feel organic and flowy, and on the left page, I went with triangle cutouts, which I guess gave it a geometric shape, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it was just random. But anyways, that is it for this page. Our next page is page 118. This page's prompt was to draw something cute, which sounds easy enough. So I started sketching a cat with its head tilted at an angle, kind of like Moriah Elizabeth's rainbow. But as I kept drawing, I just wasn't feeling it. Something about it just looked off, so I erased all of it. So then I thought, what do I find cute? Rainbows! So I decided to draw a rainbow with a kawaii face, and honestly, anything with a tiny smile and those cute eyes automatically makes it 10 times cuter. Now on the other page, I wanted to draw something different, and I thought, okay, well, what else can be cute? And then it hit me. Food with faces is so adorable. So I started sketching a hamburger, but I didn't want it to be just like a regular hamburger. So how do you make a burger even cuter? Make the bun an animal. Actually, way back when, for a friend's birthday, I followed this tutorial to make a hamburger, but the bun was supposed to look like a bear. And I don't think I actually got pictures of it, but I'll try to see if I can find the tutorial. And if I can find the tutorial, then I'll post a picture of what that was supposed to look like. But it was really cute. I don't know if my friend still has it, but And that's how I ended up with a puppy burger, or as I would like to call it, a Pupurger. Now he was looking a little slanted and wonky, so I decided to move on to outlining the rainbow first and then come back and fix him later. I outlined the clouds first, then the rainbow, and then I finally drew in the kawaii face and colored the eyes with my black pen. Then I looked over at my Pupurger, and yeah, he's gonna need to be redone. So I erased him completely and started over, and I think this version came out a lot better. I still struggled to figure out exactly how to shape the bun. Like, who knew that dog buns are just way harder to draw? I then started outlining the Pupurger, and then my camera died. So I do apologize. I didn't get the footage of the rest of the outlining, but I promise I didn't do anything too wild. Now it's time to bring the rainbow to life with color. I went with traditional rainbow colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and wait, did I forget purple? Yeah, I looked at my drawing and yep, I completely forgot to leave space for purple. So I guess this rainbow isn't getting any purple. And now that I think about it, maybe pink would have been cuter than the red for that extra kawaii factor, but oh well. And then onto the Pupurger. I colored the bun tan because obviously it's a toasted puppy bun. Then those little marks on its face is supposed to be sesame seeds, but also freckles. Do dogs even have freckles? I just googled it, and yes, apparently they can. So now my Pupurger has sesame seed freckles. I colored the patty, cheese, and lettuce, and now I'm staring at this red blob and wondering, is this supposed to be a tomato or a sploosh of ketchup? To give the bun more dimension, I took a darker 10 or a brownish colored pencil, and I lightly shaded at the top and at the bottom, and then I went over it with the original tan color to give it that toasty look. Then for the background, for the kawaii rainbow, I went with a turquoise background. I just like how it made the colors pop. For the Pupurger, I chose purple, which now I'm realizing purple Pupurger. Is that an alliteration? And that's it for this page. And our next page is page 127. The prompt for this page is create color temperature, which means splitting the two pages. One side with warm colors, like the reds, oranges, and yellows, then on the other side has cool colors, you know, like greens, blues, and purples. I had a clear idea for the warm colored page. I wanted to do like this bow pattern, so I started sketching out a bow, which I thought looked really cute, and then I tried to replicate the first one and then failed miserably. After a few attempts, I decided to simplify the bow, which was going to be easier to repeat. Once I had a design that worked, I started outlining the bows, and then my cat showed up again. Axe was very fascinated with the camera at this point, so I just kind of let him play with it and say hello. He's just trying to be the star of the show, so just say hello to Axe in the comments. Anyways, after getting Axe to chill, I finished outlining the bows, and then I moved on to the cool colored page. For the cool page, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't want to repeat the bows, so I wanted some kind of cute pattern, and eventually I settled on candy. I sketched out the candy shapes and then added little swirl bits in the middle. Once I was happy with the design, I outlined everything and erased the pencil marks. I started with the warm side and colored the bows in pink, orange, and yellow. I kind of wish I included red into this, but I wanted to keep it cute and pastel-like, so I stuck with these shades. For the cool side, I colored the candies in green, blue, and purple. For the warm side, I colored the background pink, which I thought blended nicely with the bows, so no complaints here. And for the cool page, I chose turquoise for the background. And then I realized that I already used turquoise on the rainbow page, which was the previous page, so oopsie. But maybe I should have picked a different color, but at this point I was like, whatever. And it didn't matter down the line anyway because the pages aren't even anywhere near each other. Anyways, that is it for this page. So let's recap every page and I'm going to share my thoughts. For the first page, I went with planets and space themed, and honestly, I think each planet turned out pretty cute. I would love to see human versions of each one. Like, imagine a sad emo planet and a hyper cheerful sunshine planet, and the dizzy one that's like always confused, and a rage planet that's just done with everything. I feel like that could be fun. But anyways, this is food for thought for the future. Not 100% sure how on theme this was, but hey, I think it turned out cute, so I'm calling it like a half win. The galaxy background kind of blew it for me. For this one, I had mixed feelings about. I really like the right page, but I wish I spent more time on it. And I feel like it could have been way cooler with more effort. And then for the left page, it's fine. I don't exactly love it. It's just there. If I ever do a ranking video for my favorite pages in this book, let's just say this is definitely not going to make it on my top 10 favorite pages list. I love the concept of these little characters. I could totally see these turned into plushies, and honestly, I kind of want to make that happen. If you guys are interested in seeing that, let me know, or if I just randomly feel like making a Pupurger plushie one day, that might happen. That being said, I think the Pupurger could have been drawn better. He looks a little squished, but I think he's still adorable, so I'm just gonna let it slide. I think this one is cute. I don't have too much to say about it. I guess I could have gone a little more obvious for the theme, like fire versus ice or something, but who cares? I had fun with it. And that's it for today's episode. So you might be wondering what happened to page 149. I really wanted to get this video out, so I did run out of time, but I swear I'm going to include it in the next episode. Anyways, that is it, so let me know in the comments down below which page is your favorite, and I will see you in the next video. Adios!